Welcome back to our Moneyball series here with Barnsley. How good does that feel? Barnsley Football Club, Premier League. Oh, I'm still on a high from the episode. I'm so pleased we got there. We managed to do it. And so relieved. I'm so relieved because I don't know if I could have done another season in the Championship because I can't guarantee we would have gone any better. You know, we had a pretty good squad. We probably could have improved it a little bit, but you just never know. Some decent sides come down from the Championship, from the Premier League down to the Championship, and it becomes a harder task. And yeah, wow, just thank you to these boys for getting us up, because I don't know how many of you are going to survive the journey with us, but but you got us there. Thank you, lads, for your efforts. Some absolute legends. Ryan Ledson, that red card, I can just never see that enough times. What a legend. Some absolute legends here. Right, now, though, this episode is going to be our player recruitment episode. So we're going to go through, we're going to start off, I think, with the top Championship players. So we've already got our player profiles and our filters and our statistical benchmarks for players that we'd like from the Championship that would have got us out of the Championship. So we already know what the top end Championship player looks like for getting promoted out of this division. So we'll look at those players first, because we've already got them, for one, and for two, they'll probably be the cheaper and better options, especially for players that are at clubs that didn't go up with us. So I think we'll look at that first, and then what we'll do is I'll go away and recreate off camera some averages for players that are in the Premier League, and we'll look together and target some clubs that we think will be good levels to target and good positions in the table to target. So let's start off then with the Championship first, before we move on to the Premier League and look at the clubs we're going to look to replicate, or target to replicate anyway. So I've looked at strikers already, so let's get this underway. Right, so you can see here that we've only got a few of the actual attributes up, and the reason is that some of them, like the benchmark might be like 0.68 for something, and then the criteria you get to give in the values is either 0 or 1, so it makes no difference actually putting it in. But the only one I took off that I could have used was expected goals. I'm just going to take that off for now, and it gives us 7 players. Now, the first 2 you can rule out because of the appearances. Like, it doesn't really give us enough of an idea. But Sam Goodwin's the first player. Now, he's interesting because he's on loan from Leeds, and there's a really good chance they'll transfer list him. And his stats are pretty decent. His goals per 90 is very, very good. Goals per 90 isn't bad. Header 1 ratio is extremely good. Like 67% is very, very good. For a player that's only 5'11", that's very good. Caught offside 12 times doesn't really matter. It's not per match, so I don't really like those stats too much. It doesn't tell us too much. Assist per 90 is not too bad for a striker. Like, he's got a lot of good stats there that I like for a striker. So he's somebody I'm going to shortlist. Lyndon Dykes is somebody we looked at before. Now, he's 6'4", and he's a heavy lad. So I'm not sure how good he's actually going to be. But he seems to score pretty good on a lot of the things. Headers 1 ratio is 57. Aerial attempts per 90, or aerial challenges per 90, 70, but 97, that's quite high. But that's probably because of the way they use him. But his dribbles per 90 is absolutely woeful. So I'm going to keep him on the shortlist, but I'd probably shy away from him, because I'm going to assume that his agility and dribbling is really poor, even for the Championship, let alone for the Premier League. So on that basis, that's why he's going to be, I wouldn't say ignored, but he's going to definitely go down the list of players to look at. Even though he's got 25 goals this season, though. It's pretty good. He's on the shortlist anyway, but we'll see how much money we could get him for. Our own Josh Coyote is one of the best performing strikers in the season. That's really good. I like to see that. So I like to put our own players in the list as well. And some of the usual suspects there as well. I mean, Colin Grant actually scores very highly across the board here. And if you look at goals per 90, shots per 90 is good. Shot percentage isn't great. Expected goals is pretty high. He scored a few as well. Dribbles per 90 is extremely high. Now, for somebody that's 6 foot and does win an okay amount of his headers, that's a pretty well-rounded striker. So I'd look at him to potentially be a right striker for us, so he's got on the list as well. Even if you take all that away, Tyrese Campbell's got quite a lot there, so he's got quite big expected goals, only scored 16. Why does he not appear on our other lists? Have a look at that. His one isn't too bad. Like, shot percentage isn't too bad either. I mean, what is his problem? Goals per 90, that's why he doesn't, because goals per 90 is below 0.50. I shortlist him as well, just as a backup, really. Ben Diaz looks quite good with his stats here. He's worth quite a lot though, isn't he? Yeah. Ryan Robertson had a pretty decent season as well. Header win percentage is what I'm looking at for him, stands out quite a lot. Expected goals, 14. He scored 19, so he's not bad. 0.52 goals per 90. That isn't terrible. I'll shortlist him as well. Goals per 90. Let's see what strikers we've got that are loving running with it. With at least a few starts though. Ollie Burke. Goals per 90, 0.22. Terrible. Not bad in the air. Pretty more like a winger, though. I'm going to look at that now. Goals per 90. Gee, look at some of these. What league are you playing in first? Wayne Wisser. The problem you've got with that is team goals per 90 is good, but so is team goals conceded. So I don't really learn too much from that with him. But both. That's incredible. Team goals per 90, 6.59. Team goals against, 0.35. That's an effective player. Other stats, dribbles per 90 is all right. Is he good in the air? Not really. So in isolation, he looks really good from this half of or this end of the spectrum, right? But he does not look as good on this end with dribbles per match, aerial ability, that kind of stuff. So I'm happy with that. But we picked a couple of strikers there, that'll do. To remember about the Moneyball system and what we're doing here, though, is in baseball, there's only one league that they're looking at, really. There's Major League Baseball. You're playing in Major League Baseball and just looking at one division. So you haven't got to contextualize level of opposition. A lot of the stats it's the stats across the board for that division, right? Or there are farm leagues, but you can always contextualize it pretty well. If they're playing in the second tier, the third tier, fourth tier, or within the US pyramid, it's very easy to scale the stats and to look at them in isolation there. Whereas we've got a random selection here. We've got the championship we can look at here. And if I was to open it up to other leagues, the problem we've got with different leagues is they have unbelievable stats, but the SPL versus the championship for a lot of the teams, it's hard to judge the stats when they're across completely different leagues and levels of football and money and that kind of stuff. So that's where it was a lot easier to do it in baseball back in 2003 than it is even to do it now in FM when you've got just so many different leagues and standards of football to factor in, which is completely different for us. Central footballers, then let's have a look. Right. So key passes per 90 is 2.57. So key passes per 90 we're looking at here. Dribbles per 90 0.67. Oh, that's shot on the list way down. I'm just going to leave all the attacking parts of this on. We've already got this way down to basically nobody. So I'll just leave the attacking ones on for now and just use that as our list. We've already got one on there, actually. So the next one is Payero. I've not actually seen Payero before on Foot Manager, if I'm honest. So this will be interesting, right? Key passes per 90 is 2.57. He's got more than that. Dribbles per 90 is 0.67. He's got much less than that. Chances created per 90 is 0.44. He's got over double that. That's impressive. Chances created per 90. Got chances 15. He's pretty much on that. Passes completion ratio, he's slightly below, but that's okay. Assists per 90 0.24. He's almost bang on, just actually just over that. XG is above that. He's actually quite good. Defensively looks okay as well. Doesn't seem anything too drastic there. I'm going to shortlist him and actually scout him. I've never used him before. Some of you may know exactly how good he is. I have no idea. Baker, I'm just going to say no instantly because, that's low enough, but that's even worse. Dribbles per 90, I'm just going to be instant no there. Godos, that's some impressive stats. Key passes per 90. How many appearances? 21 starts are pretty good. Key passes per 90 is high. Dribbles per 90 is okay. It's actually quite good. Chances created per 90 is over double. That's actually really good as well. And that's going to conclude our central footballers. And let's have a look at our fellow CDMs in the league. For a CDM, interesting, we've got Ryan Yates first. I've used him before with Forest, so I know how good he is roughly. I just know he's quite slow. But if we're looking at, what's the most important thing, I guess? It's all of these three, I suppose, at the start. But tackles per 90, if we separate it by that. Also, interceptions per 90. That's pretty good from Livermore as well. He was 33. It's probably not going to be worth signing in. You've got Christian Norgard in, and this is really interesting. So, he's one of the better options for us to get, but he's worth £18 million. So the whole point of Moneyball here is that we see him, we see his output, and we just skip right past that. We go, okay, well, the difference between you and Ryan Yates here, you play roughly the same amount of games. Interceptions is exactly the same. Tackles per game is much higher for Yates. Tackle ratio is similar. Key tackles is similar. Chances created per 90 is better for Yates. Pass completion is similar. Key pass is slightly in favour of Norgard. But if you just look across the boards, they're very similar players. Very similar players. And this is exactly where you would go Ryan Yates out of the two. If you had to pick between the two, there's no doubt that's who you pick. I'm going to shortlist Yates because he's actually, according to everything I'm looking at here, he fits the bill for everything for a promotion-winning CDM for a championship club. Grimes actually is quite good as well. Now I'm looking at this in detail for him. I actually sort of skipped past him as I was looking at Norgard. But actually, Matt Grimes, another example, he'd be another good player as well. Left-footed, don't really like that as much, but he's worth a bit more money. So, I mean, I'll shortlist Grimes in case he gets transferred or something, but really, Yates is the best value for money out of all of that, because they're all going to offer us very similar amounts, but he's the cheapest. He's going to give us resale value as well, putting a bit of a football spin on it. Like, he's the one out of the lot. Distance covered by far the most. What bit of transfer business that would be to get him in? So that's going to be our target, our championship target if we go for him. I'm actually hoping, what my hope is that we don't have to get any of these and we can get all Premier League options. These are all just the players that we can guarantee are going to help us at least progress from where we are now, but they may not be good enough to keep us up and survive. We don't really know yet, but yeah, he'll go down as an option. Okay, so you didn't miss anything to do with wingers. I had a look at the wingers. There was nobody there, so I didn't even bother showing it to you. There was nobody that showed up. Even when I took some of the stats away, they still didn't show up, so there won't be any wingers being some in the championship. Now, fullback is interesting. There's two options. Obviously, we have our own player in, Callum Britton, who obviously will be sold. I mean, Ola Aina is by far the best option. Not only has he played a lot more matches than the only other player there is possible to bring in, but you've got to look at, yes, come on, Nottingham Forest, come on, boys. Apologies, there was a weird cut there. I've got the Nottingham Forest game on in the background, and they just scored a very important goal. Come on, Forest. Yes, apologies for that. There's a weird cut in that section. Anyway, back to Foot Manager here with Barnsley. So, there's only one option, Ola Aina. He's the only one who's played enough games, beats our other current player in a lot of the departments, especially chances per game, dribbles per game. Cross completion is still pretty good as well. There's a lot there. There's a lot there to like about his stats, so he's probably going to be one player that we'll look at, and it's pretty easy for us to look at left back. We just keep the same exact stuff. We just go to left back. So the last one, then we move on to centre back. Now, I have actually already got the full back one. I actually didn't have anything set up for it, but the centre back I do. So we're just going to go centre back, and then I'm going to go to search here. I'm pretty sure I have, Oh no, that was centre back one either. Fuck's sake! All right, give me a second to set up the centre back one. I'll see you in a second. So I've put all of them in. It gives one player, Mark Roberts, who's 32. And probably ain't going to be the player that comes up with this. If we take this down, do anything okay. Key tackles, drag that down a little bit. And fouls made. Can put that up to 30. All right, it gives us a few others. We've basically got 4 players. So Mark Roberts is a no. Dale Fry then. Let's have a look at him, what we got here. Dale Fry, he's made 42 appearances, 42 starts. His dribbles per 90 is 0.12. Leading score is 1. But error challenges per 90 is 15.28. We need is above that is 17. We then need it to be 12.77. He's above that. Header 1 ratio 84%. He's got, and we need 83.44, so that's good. Interceptions per 90. We need 3.21. He's got 3.06. Slightly lower on that. Tackles per game. He is above that. We need 0.79. And tackle ratio, we need that to be 77.83. So he actually scores quite highly across the board on almost everything. Even the bonus ones like team conceded per 90. What have we got for that? He's a bit higher for that, but that could be down to the team. So I'm going to shortlist him. Now, I'm not entirely sure where Rocky's been playing this season. It looks like CDM. I don't think Rocky has been playing centre-back. That's the problem with his stats. Let's say he did play centre-back. Error challenges per 90, he's a bit low for that. Headers 1 per 90 is about right. Header 1 ratio, he's actually above that. Interceptions per 90, he's above that. Oh no, he's slightly below actually. We need 3.21. Tackles per 90, he's way above that. Must play midfield to get that high. The tackle completion ratio was also very high. So he looks quite good. Key tackles 5, but I'm going to guess he's definitely playing. It's like 9 key tackles. That's really impressive. I'm going to shortlist him as well, because that actually isn't too bad at all. So another good championship player to bring up with us. That concludes all the championship players. That's everybody in the championship we're going to look at and bring with us. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and look at some of the Premier League teams and create some averages for them. So let's look at that quick. This is our Premier League sort of... If this is the Premier League here, and we are looking for somewhere to target to finish and recruit, we've got to be careful. We don't want to aim too high, because we might not be able to get the players in there for that level of team, and we might not be able to afford it, is the other problem as well. So if we pick, I'm thinking West Ham, Leicester, Sheffield United, so we're picking 14th, 13th and 12th. If we use that as a benchmark, we can go slightly below it, and we should then still be fine, but it's nothing too high, right? I think that's a really good target to hit. So let's aim for West Ham, Leicester and Sheffield United. So I'm going to go in now. I'm going to pick out the best performing player in each position in each team and just create an average. So I'll take the 3 best centre-backs, create an average for that, and we'll go through and look at the kind of players we're going to look at to buy from that point forwards. I'll open up the search parameter, obviously not from just the Championship anymore, because it shouldn't matter. We should be able to get work permits now in the Premier League. We should be able to get the amount of money up. the amount of wages we're able to offer players should help us out with it as well. So I don't know. I'm going to go away for camera and spend some time doing that, and we'll come back together in a second when I've got all of them done. First of all, welcome back. Now, it has been a long time for me doing this. This took ages. I don't remember taking this long before, but my neck hurts from staring at the monitor that's over there. It's been a process, let's put it that way. So, right, we finally got it all. So what I did is I took the best player in each position from West Ham, Leicester and Sheffield United here. So I took all their stats and then added them all up together for each position and then divided it by 3 for the stats that we're looking for. West Ham, I took Diop and I listed all of these numbers down, wrote them all down on notepads. Did the same thing for Leicester and Wesley Fofana, and the same thing for Sheffield United and O'Connell here. So I add all of them up and then divide it by 3, and then you get an average of all the teams, because some teams might have their tactics built a certain way where they attack one side, so then they get countered on the other side a bit more. So it sort of like just eliminates you can't eliminate every single possibility, but it sort of like takes out the extremes and gives you a better chance of not having outliers by just picking one team and going for that team. You could do that if you want to save yourself a lot of time. I mean, it would save. Do you know what? That would have saved me a lot of time. Yeah, I don't know. When we get forwards, if we're in the title race, we'll just pick the best team and we'll just take them. I think, because that's a process. Or alternatively, the next time I do this, I'll do it as a stream and I'll notify it way in advance so that we can do it like as a Q&A, as a chat. We can just talk about things and I can have somebody to talk to while I go through this mission, because it's, Moving on to the transfer window then. Let's have a look, see what we can get. Right, so I've got pretty much the ones down that I want. I don't know why I just filled all this out. I just realised I filled all this out and I actually got a preset search that I can just go edit search this and striker. Although it would have put the values in wrong. I should probably put division in somewhere because that's going to make such a difference what division they're playing in. Okay, Fran Navarro right here. Now, Fran Navarro plays in the Portuguese Premier League, so not a terrible standard. He's got 13 goals in 35 starts. Okay. Goals penalty 0.41. We're looking for 0.38. Shots penalty minutes 3.28. He's above that. Shots on target percentage, we're looking 51. He's bang on that. XG, we're looking for 10.45. He's ahead of that. Dribbles 0.70. We are looking for 0.90. He's a bit behind on that. He's 5'11", so I'm not sure. Head ratio, he's right on the minimum for that. So if you give me the pacey player in behind, he's probably just not good enough to be that player, but we'll shortlist him anyway. I'm going to put an offer in anyway, to see if we can get him like really cheap or something, like free transfer. Took that. How about like 100 grand? Let's see if they take like 150 grand for him. You know, this is the difference between Moneyball and everybody playing in the same league and us having different levels of competition. Like, it's harder for us to just know, looking at stats, whether somebody's good enough. Has got to factor in the level they're playing at, right? Interesting. Okay, Philipp Tietze. He plays in the German Bundesliga 2, so the German Championship effectively. He's scored 25 goals this season, 6'3". His stats are pretty good. Don't forget that's at the German Championship, so not level terribly far off from where we're at. XG is above what we need. Dribbles per game is going to be way below, but he's the big man, isn't he? So we're not really looking at him for that. We're looking at him then in the air. Is he any good? Goes at 15 times a match. That's above, and he wins way more than what we've got written down here. So he'd be a good option for our big man striker. That's a classic Moneyball signing there. He's going to be undervalued because he's playing in the Bundesliga 2. He's scoring a load of goals, but like, that's consistency as well. He's exactly what this is designed for. I'm excited about this signing. I have no idea how good he is. Never seen him before. That which makes, the context of this, there's going to be some players that we do know how good they are, at least roughly, which is going to be, if they appear and they're fitting the stats, we're still going to sign them because that's the whole point of it. But I'm not going to go and search them out just because they are who they are, right? It's just not what I'm going to do. I've got no interest in doing that. But like, this is a good example of a Moneyball signing. What can we get him for? Fuck the work permits, man. Offer him a load of wages, try and get his work permit in. So I think if they're like a certain amount of your wage budget, that you can get extra points from. Good. Okay, that's 2 signings there. Interesting. So we managed to find 2 strikers out of all of that. Now, I haven't even dropped it yet, so let's start dropping a couple of things. Let's drop what should we drop first? Target ratio. I'll drop that a little bit, because if you're in like a counter-attacking team, a lower league team, and you're snatching at chances, you don't get very many, that could go down a little bit. Aerial challenge attempts, I'm going to look into that's like 8. XG to 9. Headers 1 can drop a little bit for a pacey player in behind. And I don't care how many times they get caught offside. Let's see what, and we'll draw that even by 1 as well. So that should open it up to a lot of players. Straight dribbles per 90. Ben Diaz, really? I'm not paying that much money for him. I don't think that I can rely on the Vanarama North as a reliable 11 football for the players for the Premier League. So, but there's good stats. There's good stats there. Dorking, Vanarama South, you've got to be joking me. That is 2 back-to-back good seasons. How have they not gone up is my question. Thomas Goswiner, no division. Plays for, not Hamburg, Homburg. His stats were good, but I can't sign this Joe. He's left-footed, 6'4", just like the one that went to City in real life. Okay, another one that's caught my attention here is Johannes Eggstein, who's worth a lot of money, actually. He scored a few amount of goals. His goals per 90 is actually quite really good. Shot percentage, we're looking for 51, he's got 57. XG, we need 10.45, he's got 11.13. Like, he's actually quite good in a lot of areas. Dribbles per 90, he's a bit low on that, but he's 6 foot. Is he any good in the air? He goes up for 12.41 a game, doesn't win an awful lot though. Headers 1 ratio, he's right on the line, 37. So he could be an option potentially, like he's right on the line. He's also playing in the Belgian First League, so I'm also looking at that now. Like, if they're getting good results in similar leagues to the Championship or above, that's what we're also looking at. Mujica, I've pronounced this name. Rafa is absolutely banging him in the Spanish second division. He fits a lot of our criteria. He's only 6'1", but he's very good in the air, wins a lot of his battles anyway. But he also, can he dribble much? 0.90 is the minimum, so he just about fits that. So that's another one that we could look at here. Who wants him? Levante. Okay, so a La Liga team wants him, so that's a good spot potentially there. No idea who this is. Daku. His estimated value is unknown, but he's in the second league in Croatia. I don't know if we can go off of that. He fits on a lot of the stats, but second division Croatia, not sure that's really going to be up to standard. I mean, 64% of headers, that's still pretty good. Georgie here, 29 years old, Georgian international, plays in Cyprus. We're getting very cheap, to be honest. I'm going to shortlist him because, yeah, that's going to be frustrating. I don't know how long to make this episode in, like, exactly whether you want to see every single thing or how this is going to work, really. I'll definitely show the strikers here. So I'm going to have a little more look. I'm going to have a bit more of a look through, and then I'm going to show you the wingers at the very least, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I want another winger that can, another striker that can run in behind. I mean, I'm not having this. That Ben Diaz is the best player we can get. I'm not having it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to buy him. Like, target per 90 is good. His goals is okay. 3 penalties. His XG is good. Gets into good areas. His dribbles per match is very, very, very good. And in addition to that, he's good in the air and he's 6'1". Like, he's prototype. And he's worth probably, what could we get him for? This is where it becomes a thing, right? It's okay, he's a prototype, but what could you see? That's where it becomes a good deal. A good deal. 3.5 million, one of it up front for him is a good deal, I think. If we're asking for like 8 million, I probably would turn them down because I feel like I can get a better option. So if it's 3.5 for him, it has to be less for him. The reason I'm doing the percentage of next sale is I'm anticipating we're not going to come back down, and that by the time we sell these players, we should be like a European level team where this extra money we're giving up isn't then going to make a difference. 1.9 million. So is Diaz worth double the amount of money of Callum Robinson? That's the question here. Age-wise, he's got resale value. So let's have a look. Goals, don't care about that. Let's look at this. Goals per 90 is pretty close. Shots per 90 is up for Diaz. Target is the same, except the goals are roughly the same. Dribbles per match is slightly more for Diaz. Goes up a lot more. Wins a lot less headers, but goes up for loads more. Gets caught offside slightly more. Creates loads more chances. About the same for assists. Chance per 90, he is way ahead. Basically, what you want is you want all 3 of these. I don't want to get all 3 of them because we could end up having somebody much better come available later in the transfer window that we just don't anticipate just yet. Especially when like July the 2nd comes around and all the players are back at their clubs and players that are on loan are back at their clubs and are transfer listed and things of that nature. So the reason I kept writing him off, and I'm pretty sure I said in an earlier episode that he's just not worth the money because we can get these for similar. These players here give a similar output to him and should cost us much less. But 2 million to 4.5 million when your budget's 33, that's not a lot to get the better one. That if he would have if they'd have asked for like 9 million for him, it's not even a question. There's no way I'd go for him. It's straight away to Callum Robinson. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put in a bid for all three of them and start offering contracts and get the process along. And I can delay it twice without having to actually sign them. So that's that's at least a 3-4 week period. Like, I was really interested with the wingers is right early on when I was fixing all the stats. So it was like Premier League levels. This guy came up almost immediately. Like, he was the first player to show up and he stayed there for ages. So I don't know what division he's playing in, somewhere in Switzerland, but he came up so early. I feel like I've got to sign him. If we can get a work permit for him. If we can get a work permit for him, we've got to sign him. Yeah, I'm going to try it. I don't care what standard football he's at. He fits everything we've asked for, and he's the only one that did. This lad came up quite late, and he's actually playing at a more reasonable level, a Serie B. So, yeah, again, like, the only wingers that are showing up, so why not? Yeah, that's just absolutely no chance of that happening. What's so bad here? Like, they really should have done... They should be able to do all this. I mean, you can take the aerial stuff and the tackle stuff way down, I suppose. Josh Bowler's appeared in the Championship. He's got pretty good stats, actually, as Josh Bowler. Bowler, how do you pronounce his name? I don't know how good he is, but his contract's up, so let's shortlist him because we get him on a free transfer potentially. Okay, so like, this is a good example. So Milat Rashia, he's a good player and is scoring pretty highly in our stats. However, they want that for him. Like 16.25 million is just never going to happen. So the next best thing is Diego here, or Diogo. How much can we get him for? Can we get him for something like, I don't know, 6 or 7? Probably not. That just seems a lot. Let's take the actual assists and goals they got last year because they could have played in a shit team. And the shot on target ratio dropped to 35%. Isaiah Jones played 41 times in the Championship. I've never seen him before. Like, I don't think I've ever clicked on him. So I don't know how good he is, but Leeds want him. So this is a good shout. 3.6 grand a week. His cross completion is only like 1% down. Chance created per 90. He's way above that. Clicker chances created, he's way above that. Assist per 90, he's above that. So why was he lower before? Assist 6, goals 4, shots on target. So he ticks every single box, except for maybe, what, goals? I don't know why he didn't appear earlier. I guess this is going to be a great example. So he fits as many boxes as the first two wingers we just showed, but they're going to let us have him for like, what was the other one? I think 14, wasn't it? So it's an Armenian international playing for the B team of Levante, who play in what, the third tier? Could be lower than that, actually. Not sure. But he ticks a lot of the boxes. I'm going to shortlist him. I'm going to try and buy him, but I'm going to shortlist him. I keep ignoring him, but he keeps scoring pretty highly across the board for striker and winger. Again, I've not seen him before. The reason I ignored him was I'd already bought 2 players that Barnsley had sold in real life, and didn't think I wanted to do a third, but as a striker, he rates well as a striker and as a winger for our stats, and he can play right back. Like, I'm going to shortlist him as well. Yeah, that's pretty much all we managed to get for like dribbles per game. You know, like it's not a great load of players in the wide areas. I'm just going to take off now or lower again. 40% headers. Let's go 30% for tackles and 70% and then 70% passing. Let's just see if that triggers any of the absolute wonder kids. I think I'll quickly rattle through the rest of the positions here, so you've got all this in one episode, I guess. We'll look at central fielders next. Okay, so nobody's appeared on our central fielder list here, so the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of fouls, see if that does anything. Nope. Headers one that I can drop like 50. So far that's given us a bunch of lower league absolute dross, so let's go clicker chances onto 7. And pass completion on the is it 90, so 82? Try that. Yeah, it's giving us quite a few now. Okay. This is pretty much all lower league. Oh, okay. I've seen the problem. I've thought UK and Irish selected. Interesting. Mitchell Lordrich here. Right, okay. Plays in the German 3rd division, which isn't great, but 13 assists is quite impressive. His dribbles per match is good, 2.42. Standard football is not good, so I'm going to shortlist him. I'm not going to buy him, but I'm going to shortlist him. That's been way more disappointing than I thought it was going to be. I have to definitely have a look at this later on the transfer window. Central forward, definitely note that down as a potential problem area. I guess we'll move on now to CDM. Nobody's appeared again for even CDM, and I dropped this to like 59. And that to like 2. Click up chances, going on to like, I guess get rid of that completely. And key passes. Pass completion down by a couple. Chances created. This is CDM, don't forget. Moneyball signing right here. Hans ver de Bruggen plays for Club Brugge in Belgium. Plays for Club Brugge in Belgium in the Belgian Pro League. 30 years old. Because of that, he's probably not going to cost a lot. Now, he might get a work permit as well. Is he partly English or something? No, they just don't think he's going to have a problem getting one. Right. This is a good sign-in. Before we do the money, let's just show you why. Interceptions per 90, we need 1.11. He has 1.84. For tackles per game, we need 1.77, and he's way above that. Tackling win ratio, 83, he's got 88. Key tackles, whatever, they don't care about that. Chance created per 90, 0.30. He's almost right on. Pass completion, 90, 88 is close. So everything across the board, he's very close on, especially defensively, he's very good, which is exactly what we're buying him for. So he fits the bill. Plays a good standard of football, a good enough standard of football for us to buy from, right? That's the crucial thing. 1.9, get under 2. Yes, love it. And the Norwegian First Division in the Premier League is tough because their season's just started. So they're going to be players to look for the back end of the transfer window. But if he keeps his stats up, he should be pretty good if he can start some games. Will Vaughs. Now, I didn't really notice him last season at all in the Championship for Cardiff. But apparently, he's got pretty good stats across the board. And he made 16 starts, 22 sub-appearances. He fits the criteria almost across the board. He's like a couple of percent off a couple of the percentage ones, but pretty good across the board. So in a shortlist him, I'm pretty sure his contract's up. So free transfer, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. On Brugman now, he doesn't make any interceptions, but he does make a lot of tackles. His tackle ratio is brilliant, and he did it in Serie A. Now, only 6 starts, 18 sub-appearances, but that's pretty good stats for the Serie A. So I'm going to shortlist him. He's 30 years old, so work permit could be an issue from Uruguay. Yeah, it might be, but we'll shortlist him. Chris Fernandez Mercado here. Interceptions per match, we're only looking for 1.11. 2.42. Tackles per match, we're only looking 1.77. 2.42. That's really, really good. Key tackles 4, we're looking for 2.66. That's really good defensive stats. He plays in the Argentine Premier Division. Now that's good. 23, no caps, work permit issues. No, okay. Oh, look at this for a steal. Some of these bigger clubs want him. I've never heard of him or seen him before for manager. So if he is good, and you're like, well, of course he's good, Jack. I've never seen him. Apparently he's a wing back. I think I've got to scout him to figure out where he's been playing, which I will do. I'll shortlist him. I'll definitely scout him to find out. Yeah, I will definitely be shortlisting him and scouting him to find out where he's been playing because he looks really good. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to end the episode here. I'm going to go away and do the rest of the positions we've not looked at yet. I'm going to continue through partly into the transfer window, and then we'll come back when we've got a few more of the Scandinavian players who have played more games into their current season. We've got more players in our search filters. Maybe we'll go to July 2nd. We'll look at that. And players to come back off loan. There's just more players available to buy. I might just do that so we get a few more players that are available because that might give us a better chance of being able to get players and might make it a bit more dynamic in the movement, especially when players want or clubs want our players as well. And we'll go through some of the players that we're gonna sell. But you've seen anyway how we're going to approach the Premier League, what we've looked at for stats and what the numbers are. I will post somewhere the numbers, the averages that you can just take because it could be different save to save, but it shouldn't be too far out of whack. I've taken 3 teams. So if you took 3 teams, if you're 14th, if you're 15th, 14th and 30th, whatever it is, it should be fairly similar. So that saves you doing that donkey work, I suppose, as it were. So yeah, I'm going to go away now and have a look at some of these. And I'm also going to transfer to some of these players and get some offers in, try and get some wages in. And we'll look at some players together later on in the summer transfer window. So we'll sort of try and do 2 episodes either side of the transfer window and see how we go, to be honest. Yeah, and hopefully long term, you'll be able to catch up with me, like in terms of episodes and when I'm recording them, so that I can start to stream a couple of transfer windows live. Because that would be nice to do in some interaction, but I'm not great about that for a while. I'm happy with this just being a series on YouTube. That's all I want it to be. But just for these long times where it's going to be a long period going through all the players and stuff. We leave then. We didn't get to do this in the last episode that we recorded. So let's do the big attribute reveal. So we can look at all the players again this season that we've been using, and we haven't seen their attributes yet. So this is where we find out what we've been dealing with, how good some of the players really are. So let's get into that. I'm going to start off with, we know some of these players anyway, and some of these were here last year. We go through the transfer history. Has this got anybody signed on the back end of the season? I suppose it has, actually. So if we go from here onwards, so let's look at Brad Potts will be the first one. So Brad Potts, our central midfielder, played box to box, or single on the volante, whatever you want to call it, and played right back for us a little bit. How good is Brad Potts? Oh my God. Pace, no agility, can't even dribble. Oh, what was I doing? Oh, we're so lucky we got promoted. Brad, if you're watching, mate, you're a solid League One midfielder. Maybe fullback, I don't know. I had no idea. I obviously must have come across him before in saves, and I thought he was better than that. Like, I didn't know how good he was, but I just thought he was better. Like, that's really bad. To play starting central midfield in a dynamic 4-4-2 where it's backwards and forwards and it's a lot of transitions. Oh, no wonder the stress we've been having in this save. Jimmy Dunn, our first centre-back signing from QP on a free transfer. 50% of the next sale goes to them. Let's see how good Jimmy Dunn is. Oh, he's pretty good. He's pretty good, actually, isn't he? He's quick. He's not agile, but he's quick. He's got no technical ability whatsoever. That's fine. I thought he was worse than that. I thought he was slow. That's interesting. I had no idea. I must have come across his name. I've never clicked on him before in FM. So that was a genuine surprise to me. It's the first time I've seen him. And I'm pleasantly surprised. So there we go. Reece Burke, our fullback, whatever he was supposed to be. Didn't play much. Yeah, he's better than I thought. Like, he's quicker than... Well, he's not that quick. Like, he's a really good side of a back three centre-back in a championship in League One. So another like League One player we've been able to get promoted with. So that was Reece Burke. The last two players did move on in the end as well. But Jimmy Dunn, how many times did he play? Like, Jimmy Dunn made 19 starts before he went to Bournemouth. And Reece Burke made only 2 starts. So he went like quite early on. So yeah. Owen Dale, our pacey winger. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was slightly better at dribbling. His technical ability is shocking, isn't it? And he's got no agility. I thought he was slightly more agile and could dribble slightly more. Right, Daryl Horgan, Wickham. I have seen Daryl before. I think he's slightly quick. He's okay. He's a bit worse than I thought he was. Jesus. That is League One as well. Wow. What a job we've done this season. He's better than that. Dribbling especially. There you go. Admiral, the big Admiral. What do you reckon? 13 acceleration. Finishing 11. Something like that. He's much quicker than I thought he was. He can finish a little bit as well, according to the stat or the attributes. Look at the money he's worth. You're going to be gone, Admiral, I think. If somebody comes anywhere near that amount of money for you, you're going to be gone. League One, maybe Championship just. Terrible. We're lucky. We went up, really. Frankie Kent now. I have no idea. This could be anything. He could be as bad as some of the other midfield defenders. He could be our best defender. I don't know. If he was a tiny bit quicker, he'd be really good. I actually quite like him. He's like a slightly different version of the first centre-back that we looked at. I think Jimmy Dunn, wasn't it? Yeah, Jimmy Dunn was quite good. I quite liked Jimmy Dunn. I was surprised at how quick he was, to be honest. So I'd say those two are probably our best centre-back so far, but we haven't got into our other players yet, especially the one that replaced Dunn. So let's have a look. So I'll look at the goalkeeper. Yeah. I don't know. I think if anything, that's probably a bit generous, but there we are. Malik Wilks. Yeah, I mean, an all-rounder that can't finish. That's pretty much a theme of him and Admiral. Although Admiral he's got a 14 finish and he just can't finish. Yeah, Malik Wilks, League One striker. They're both good, really good League One or like lower level championship strikers, aren't they? Those two. So Bradley Dack, he's a lot slower and no agility again. Do you know what's really funny? There's no way in a million years I would have played him and Brad Potts as starting central midfielders if I'd have seen their attributes. Like, I've seen Bradley Dack over the years. I knew he was a half-decent player, but he's had back-to-back long-term injuries. And I had no idea that he had that much of a hammering on his physicals. 15 finishing, that's really good. Would never have guessed it. What a player he's been for us, by the way. Class. Jerry Yates, I've seen him before. He's not very quick, is he? No, 13s. I thought he went slightly quicker. That's pretty much what I thought he would be like. But terrible dribbling and pace, and he's not very good in the air, so lucky really that he came on and scored a few important goals back in the season. Josh Harrop, League One midfielder, can't dribble, can do most things at League One level, I suppose. Marvin. Now here we go. This is interesting. Marvin. I don't think I've ever seen Marvin before. He must be quick because he was excellent at centre back. I'm going to guess 14 pace, 13 acceleration, 15 jumping reach for physicals. Oh, he's even better than I thought he was. Wow, what a player. What a great player. And he's better. Do you know what's quite funny is he's probably slightly better than the centre-back that we lost to Bournemouth, you know. So it's close, but I take him. And he was better. He just felt better. He did better in his stats in terms of headers won. He scored a few goals from corners, did Marvin. What a player. Class signing. I'm so pleased I managed to get him on a free transfer as well. Look at that. Gavin, I've seen him before. Yeah, very good keeper. I don't know what happened to him. Just played shit for us. It was really unusual. Positioning maybe is a problem for him. Like, it was something to watch going forwards. Positioning. Tyler Roberts, I've seen him before. Yeah. Solid League One striker. Really good League One striker. Bad Championship striker. And it pretty much proved out to be the case. Clark, I have no idea. Never seen him before. Never used him before. He must be on 12 acceleration. 11. Oh! His agility is a bit worse. Like, this team, I would not have put together without doing it the Moneyball way. They aren't dynamic enough in some of the positions that I like, especially centre-back and central field. So that's quite interesting. He's improving his quickness. If he gets his quickness up and his agility by like 1, I'd keep him next season because he was just so good. He scored 4 goals in 11 games. And I don't know why. He's not much. He's shorter than the other centre-backs. It's going to do it. You bang up to date with all of our players. As we go. Skin C, for those of you that just need refreshing. Skin colours. And you can download custom skins if you want to that get rid of it and do other fun stuff with the game. I'm just keeping it simple for people that just want to copy it and either don't feel comfortable downloading skins or just by preference don't want to do it. It's just easier then to show all of you. So there we are, back to where we were. That's going to do it. That's going to be the episode. We've concluded our second season. We're promoted. Now we concluded the first part of the transfer window, which is always get the stats in, know what we're buying towards, and then start identifying targets early. And then I always think it's going to be like this, where it's going to be like a split 2-part episode around the transfer window. Normally, for most series, including my own, but I think for most people, when they do them across YouTube, it's normally like one episode covers the transfer window, and it's normally combining with the first game. I think for us, it's always going to be like 2 episodes like this, because it's just the way that it's going to work. And because I think you want to see the process of me getting the players as well, right? That's part of what this save is. So we'll definitely start it there. We'll come back again in July. And what I normally like to do then, as I think from the way that it just went the last time, is we'll tag on the game at the end of the second episode, but a much longer episode probably. So like right at the end of the transfer window, or coming towards the end, we'll play our first game of the season. And we're underway, and then even then, the next episode's normally like the last day of the transfer window, where there's another game. So we get a lot of the transfer and content of the data stuff and the Moneyball stuff into the episodes. But that's gonna do it. That's gonna do the episode. I hope you're enjoying the series. I absolutely love this series. Absolutely love it to bits. I can't wait to keep this going, and I can't wait to see what we do at Barnsley. Somebody did ask me, I did reply to them in the comment section. If we got a bigger offer from a bigger club, would we take it and take our Moneyball system to a bigger club, like in the film Moneyball? Billy Bean is approached by the Boston Red Sox, the guys that own Liverpool now, and he turns him down because he wanted to change the game and win it with his smaller team, if you will. That's what we're here to do. We're going to change the game. We are going to flip the script on the footballing world, and we're going to win it. We're going to win the Champions League with Barnsley Football Club, and we're going to do it in, I don't know how many years it'll take. It could take ages. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, and hopefully we don't have too many seasons like the first. But yeah, that's going to do the episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.